Next, we have a presentation on scheme and rebate management for the metal industry. Joining us, the Venkatraman Subramanian, Vice President, IT and Digital Solution, JSW, Mr. Anirudh Modani, DGM, IT and Digital Excellence, JSW, and Mr. Sudhi Kadni, Executive Director, Sales and Solution Delivery, Vistech. Please welcome our speakers.
Good evening, all. Before we start, I just want to give a brief introduction about Vistech, if people don't know. We've been in this market for 25 years now, and we specialize in schemes and price management. And in APAC region, we started in 2010, our journey, and we implemented many places. I just would like to give a brief introduction about what the solution does, and then Mr. Venkat and Anirudh will talk about their journey at JSW Steel. So that's the background about this today's session. So like I said, we specialize in pricing and rebate management. In India, it's called scheme management. So pricing, it includes many type of analysis, simulation, price setting. It includes multiple types of price settings. It could be floor price, market price. We also do competitive analysis with other competition markets that's available in the market. Then we take that data and we simulate and we present to the user, and they can decide how to set their margins, how to set their pricing. That is the solution that we have for pricing. Scheme management is mostly on how you pay out your rebates, credit notes, and promotions to your customers. Customers could be dealers, distributors, or end customers. So we manage all channels of customers. So we have complex rebate programs that we work in a very calculated formula, very serious, complex formulas, and we do large volumes of rebates. And we are talking about, well, JSW will present it, what kind of volumes they process for rebates. So we process large kinds of rebate volumes, and we also have large analytics tool. In analytics tool, we have our own analytics tool called Vizi. So Vizi is offered on-prem, embedded, also on cloud. So we can read data not just from SAP, from outside of SAP, and we can combine the data and come up with a dashboard that you would like to see, how you would see your margins on your SKUs, how you can increase and simulate your margins, how you can change your pricing, what will that impact into your gross margin. So we can do all that as part of analytics. And we also do optimization. This is basically price guidance, price optimization, where we have AI models that can simulate and tell you what kind of pricing will help you sell more in the marketplace. So this is more of a overall solution that we have, portfolio that we have. And in details, scheme management is our bread and butter, so to speak. And it is very simple setup. We basically are all rule-based scheme agreement maintenance in the system. We use SAP technology for pricing conditions, very similar, very familiar with every SAP user. So we have a group of schemes that are basically consolidated in terms of rules, and then we do automation in terms of calculation, and that can be also retroactive. The agreements can be go backwards and calculate the rebates in the backward as a retroactive process as well. And we also have very robust approval system, because there's a lot of money involved in rebates. So there are robust approval processes that are required for most of the corporations. So that also we do automation. That is on the scheme management. And price excellence, which is what I was talking about, where when you have large SKUs, maintenance becomes an issue. I mean, it is a burden on the user to keep doing all this price maintenance and also price simulation. So we actually have a tool that will help you streamline your simulation of pricing, which will get you under and over of the margins. We can set rules to say what kind of margins you can have tolerance for your SKUs, and how do you resolve those issues when there are above and below floor pricing. So all of that is automated, and you can even have data analytics around that, and that is how we set pricing for our customers. So what have we done in India, right? So we do an embedded solution in both old ECC, traditional ECC, and also S4 on RISE. And we also do industry cloud, what we call the GTMS solution. So we are transforming all our solutions into industry cloud solution as well. So whatever scheme management that you see today in S4 is also being transitioned into the cloud solution. So some of the example customers that we have today in both the options that we have for deployment. For example, in on-prem or embedded solution, we have JSW Steel, who's going to be talking about that today. We also have Tata Steel, we have Jindal Stainless Steel, and on the chemical side, we have DCM Shriram, Rallis India in Indian market space. On the cloud side, industry cloud side, we have Ultratech Cement and Adani Cement. Adani Cement just went live recently, so we will be working with them for adoption right now. We are in the process of working for adoption right now. So this is what our background is. So what does the future look like? So what is our roadmap for next year or 2025? So for both the solutions, cloud as well as embedded solution, so we're going to be doing something called data science modeling. This is where we can read your data and kind of come up with a modeling that will work for you in terms of based on when we do the interview with our users to see what kind of margins you want to maintain. So we can build data science modeling for your products to set the pricing. This high performance pricing is what we call a price staging hub. This is a collaborative tool between dealers, distributors, and your manufacturers. So if there are large sets of pricings to be distributed amongst the channel, so we have a staging hub where any partner can log in and get the data instantaneously, where there is no need to transfer the data between the two companies. So you have one price staging hub like a portal. Then we have Planex. Planex is something that we are coming up with where we have very detailed planning tool where we go at a very complex and extended maintenance planning for rebates and schemes. How does it bring value to your company? Does it bring more uplift in terms of sales? So we do all that kind of planning. Vantage View is something that will go get market data so that you can analyze what your competitors are doing. So that is Vantage View. AI will be the next gen that we will be using in all our applications at Vistex. That's what we have as a roadmap. With that, I would like to introduce Mr. Venkat and Mr. Anirudh for talking about their journey at JSW for Vistex.
Thanks, Sudhi. And thanks for the Vistex walkthrough, and thanks SAP and Vistex team for having us. Delighted to be here. So just to give you a brief background, of how our journey started. This was, I think, way back in 2018-19, right. Where if I have to look back at history, we were using a lot of Excel. Many of our credit management or the schemes. While we had an SAP in place, so we still continue to have SAP on ECC, EHP6. And we were using partially the rebates functionality of SAP, and but it was not adequate, right? So if you look at some of the ECC functionalities, the way the business was growing in terms of volume, scales, new acquisitions happening, there was always a push for a lot of innovative schemes to kick in. People wanted a lot of flexibility, right? Flexibility is something the user community in JSW, keeps pushing us, and that leads actually to a lot of automation inside JSW. So we evaluated at that time a couple of different solutions, including Calidus, which was also an SAP offering at that time, and we chose Vistex. And it's been a 5-6 year journey so far. And one of the prime objectives for choosing SAP Vistex was we wanted to, kind of leverage whatever data exists inside SAP, right? So the intent and the objective was very clear. We wanted to use whatever data existed because we are a really SAP-centric company. So all the sales data, everything was there. A lot of entities were already on SAP. So we wanted to do a bolt-on on top of SAP, and Vistex fitted the bill very well. So it's quite interesting that we started the project during COVID time, and I think in about 6 to 7 months' time, we were able to go live, right? So, it is kudos to the Vistex team as well, and to our user community that we got a lot of support despite COVID, despite working, the project was mainly done in a remote manner, but we got good traction.
Anirudh, next slide.
So these are some of the things. So if you could look at, some of the, these are the things that dictated as to why we moved to Vistex. We were having very high transactions. Every plant had different scheme structures, so there was a need to rationalize. We obviously wanted to move from a manual way, and also the credit to the customer, right? We wanted to accelerate the credit to the customer. This was taking a lot of time, and in the erstwhile SAP world, the credit, the ultimate credit to the customer used to be several days before the credit was passed to the customer. So the value we got, right, and if I look at the journey from where we started and where we are now, the entire MOU process, right? So we have a lot of MOUs with the long-term customers. Typically, we have OEMs, auto customers, and all that, where we use a lot of MOUs. So that process is completely automated. Sudhi spoke about approval mechanism, workflows, and all that. That is completely there built in Vistex. We have a kind of a complex approval structure, a workflow structure, right? So certain schemes, it goes up to as high as 9 approvals. For certain settlements that happen or the credit that gets passed to the customer, there is a 3-level approval. So all those things we have customized. It is integrated well with SAP. We also connected Vistex to SFDC. So a lot of the customer 360, which typically happens out of SFDC, all the data related to rebate management, credit, customer credit is all passed to SFDC. And so these are the things. So there are incentives. So if you look at the kind of incentives typically we are used, and some of you must be familiar coming from a steel, metals and mining background, that these are very commonly used kind of incentives when it comes to distributors, B2B kind of model, right? That typically distributors want MOU kind of incentive. They want some kind of volume. So we have consistency incentives, early bird, price difference support is there. And many times, these things are not known in advance. So typically, there will be certain pricing adjustments that happen during the month or after the month. So we have to issue kind of debit notes to the customer, or certain additional pass-through has to be there to the customer. So all these things have been enabled. And the flexibility that I mentioned, that was the key thing which we have tried to address through this platform. Right? When I say flexibility in terms of catering and having schemes to a particular set of customers, right? So for OEMs, for examples, there could be schemes that are very unique to them, right? For MOU customers, there could be schemes which are unique to them, right? So that way we have been able to kind of segregate, and because the way it is built, right? So if you look at the processes built inside Vistex, there are schemas, and then there are calculation logic, which kind of enables to slice and dice the data, right? In terms of products, variant configuration, the different characteristics or different parameters that exist inside SAP, and basis that the schemes can be developed. So that is exactly what we have done, and different kinds of credits are getting passed to the customer. Two other very important features, right, which which is very important for us, are building the internal audit controls, right? And this was a pain point as well from a finance standpoint, right? So if if you look at the finance requirement, audit requirements, they want everything tied to the penny. So whatever reporting, whatever analytics we did, had to tie back to the ledger. So through integrating this tightly with SAP, we were able to achieve that. In fact, now we have also gone to the level of adding more components, like we wanted estimated provisions. So for some of the sales reporting, NSR reporting, we are trying to estimate provisions. We are trying to kind of do certain analytical things inside Vistex in terms of, what is the customer ask going to be, and what is that we can pass on to them on a proactive basis. Yeah, I think I spoke about all this. So real-time tracking of schemes is there. There are data insights. There are drill downs, because many of these are, parameter-based, and that is the flexibility that we wanted. Everything is kind of reconciled from a GL standpoint. So this has been the journey. So 19 we started, and here we are. So we have added a lot of entities, a lot of plants. Very recently we did the rollout for BPSL also, which was an acquisition that happened. And our journey continues. In fact, we are looking forward to the next level of automation that Vistex has been promising on S4HANA. So when we move on to the S4HANA solution, we will be excited to partner with them and kind of leverage whatever new functionalities they bring in. I would like to, if there are any user stories you want to talk about, Anirudh. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Sudhi and SAP for inviting me. And talking about the Vistex management on the rebates and discounts, I think so. Venkat sir has talked about the journey. So far, we have been utilizing the Vistex applications. So somewhere in 2019, we evaluated, and 20. I think so July we started this journey in our production system. Primarily there were few hindrances, like the change management is one of the aspects in every industry, in every company. We used to face that the user community would not be able to understand the business practices in terms of the new system designs and all. So it took around 7 to 8 months to understand them, what exactly the Vistex process is all about, and what kind of solution, considering the future expectations, the organization will gain out of this application. So starting from April 21, I think, so we started a good mature system where we know what business wants, and where actually the expectations of the organization need is. So in April 21 onwards, we started nurturing the system data which is available in SAP as well as in Vistex, and identifying the gaps or improvement programs where we can leverage on and give business more benefit out of this application. So MOU is one such application within the Vistex processes, where I think so it is a completely customized application, and thanks to Vistex team that they enabled such a complex business process in terms of our JSW steel MOU policies and all. And I think so in less than 3 or 4 months of time, I think so the flexibility what Vistex has, it is commendable. I think so the team is commendable there. And now approximately around, so far in last 5 years, we have settled down more than 13,000 crores of worth of credit and debit notes through this application. And in last 2 years of time, we have executed good amount of automations, like the estimated provision, what Venkat sir talked about, is in advance actually, since in the metal industry, most of the rebates and discounts gets processed only post facto, basically. So the market trend always try to have and competitors parity, everything plays a good amount of role in giving the discounts to the customer. So there are certain estimations which at the start of every month, quarter, the business teams used to take as a target. And those becomes the targets for the next quarter or next half year. So those estimations primarily were having offline, which we onboarded in the Vistex. And then the subsequent adjustment when the actualization through the Vistex agreement process takes care of. And then the auto settlement is one good piece amount of time which helped the business to save their efforts in manual investing time in settling the credit notes, that is second. And the DOP, the workflow basically. So workflow is another piece of design in the Vistex, which is so flexible. If over the night business teams ask for a change in the DOP, they have the readily tailored solution available. So yeah, the journey so far was very good. And I think so next journey, already Venkat sir has talked about that. We look forward. So yeah, over to you, Sudhi.
So to summarize, right, so we've seen traditionally that what solution that we have built, especially in the planning and executing. So in the future, our roadmap is to develop more models, AI-based models, and we also engage between different partners using AI engine again. And we also we will be introducing multiple AI agents for multiple applications within the Vistex. That will be our journey from 25 onwards. That's all I have. If you have any questions, we are open for questions. If you don't have questions now, you can visit us at the booth. We have a booth outside. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Venkatraman, Anirudh, and Sudhi for your valuable insight. Managing schemes and rebate effectively can significantly impact the sales and process of metal enterprises.